Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, Planning Commission. Meeting is now in session. Call to order at 6:38 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Diana Noricumbo,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Victor Legaspi,
Present.
Councilmember Lisa Tylinda is absent, Councilmember Adriana Marquez,
Present.
Councilmember Lorenzo Calderon.
Present.
We have quorum.
Okay, thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready to begin.
Please remain standing. At this time before the invocation, I want to express our sincere condolences to the passing of two distinguished members of our community. And so I'm gonna say a little bit about both of them. Mrs. Isabel Peroni was a cherished member of our community, a pillar of Calexico. She was a successful businesswoman who broke barriers, led with strength and integrity, and built a reputation grounded in excellence. Her vision turned opportunity into legacy, inspiring generations of women and business leaders in Calexico and beyond. Mrs. Peroni was deeply committed to her community. She served with humility, generosity, and faith, always lifting others up with her personal acts of kindness. On March 25th, 2025, at the age of 87, Isabel Peroni departed this life, but the impacts of her journey live on. Her legacy was one of strength, love, service, and resilience. May we continue to be inspired by the life she lived and the example she set. Mr. Levi Duran was a father, husband, son, and excellent friend. He gave unconditional love to all those around him. He was committed to helping his community understand the issues surrounding this city to help better inform our residents. His sudden passing is of a great loss to his family and our community, and we would like to acknowledge and honor his legacy. And instead of asking for a moment of silence, I would like you to join us for a round of applause for these two distinguished members of our community as we celebrate their life and their positive impact to the city of Calexico. Thank you, Pastor.
First of all, to the families who lost their loved ones, my deepest heartfelt condolences to the families. Jesus said something so beautiful. He said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me." He said, "In my Father's house are many rooms or many mansions." He said, "I go to prepare a place for you so that where I am, there you may be also." And he made a promise. He said, "And I will receive you unto myself." It's a beautiful promise by the Lord Jesus Christ. And we find hope in that truth of Scripture. Amen? Let us pray. Father in heaven, first of all, to the families, Lord God, to the Lon and Peroni families, God, we pray, God, that you would come alongside them, Lord, and embrace them as only you can. God, that you would give them the peace that surpasses all understanding, for you truly are the Prince of Peace. And Lord, may you embrace them, for their hearts break, Lord. And God, we know that you are near to the brokenhearted. So God, remind the families as well, Lord, of the blessed hope that we have in our Savior. In fact, Lord, as April is here, Lord, and we prepare to celebrate and remember Palm Sunday and Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday, Easter, Lord. All those, God, is about what your Son has done for us, Lord. And God, we thank you in his name for what you have done. And Lord, I pray a blessing upon this gathering here tonight, this meeting. Give wisdom to those who would need it, Lord God, to give direction to lead our city, Lord. And God, again, bless them in Jesus' name. Amen.
3 minutes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Let's go on.
Okay. Okay. All right, we did not have a closed session, so we'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have two requests. We request that item number 4 under presentations with the recognition to Mikhail Solis be moved up to number 1, and then we'll be continuing item number 3 since the individual's not here today.
And I believe that neither the recipients of item number 3 and number 4 are here, so we would just go with table 3 and 4 and start with just 1 and 2. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Diana Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Victor Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda is absent, Councilmember Adriana Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Lorenzo Calderon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're going to move on to our presentations. Item number 1 is proclamation declaring April 7th through 11th of 2025 as National Library Week. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources, while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning.
Whereas the libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of backgrounds, have the support they need to learn and connect and thrive. Whereas libraries partners with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community.
Whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resource training and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story time, STEM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression.
Without dedication, librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces and inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Draw to the Library. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of Calexico do by proclaim April 7th through the 11th, 2025 as National Library Week, engaging all residents to visit the Camarena Memorial Library, explore its resources, participate in the many other programs, and celebrate all the ways that the library draws us together as a community. Thank you.
Can we please have you come with us so we can present this to you? Thank you, Mrs. Legaspi. She's our library manager. Thank you for this. Steve, would you like to say?
Take a picture first. just want to thank you for this, accepting this proclamation and invite the whole community. Next week, we're celebrating National Library Week, and we have many programs and services free to the community for all ages, from babies to seniors. So everybody's encouraged, and I hope that every household in Calexico, at least in Calexico, gets a library card so they can take advantage of all the services that are provided to you. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 2 on presentations, it's proclamation declaring April 2nd, 2025 as World Autism Acceptance Day and the month of April as Autism Acceptance Month. Whereas autism is a result of a neurological disorder that affects the functioning of the human brain and can affect anyone regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, or socioeconomic background, and whereas symptoms and characteristics of autism may present themselves in a variety of combinations and can result in significant lifelong challenges to an individual's ability to learn in typical ways, develop healthy interactive behaviors, and communicate through verbal as well as nonverbal methods. And
whereas autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a reality that affects millions of families every day, and more children than ever are being diagnosed, resulting in rates as high as 1 in 36 children, and nationally with 4 times greater prevalence amongst boys and girls, equating to approximately 1 in 25 boys and 1 in 100 girls, according to the Centers of Disease Control. And whereas in April we recognize those with autism achieving and breaking down barriers and recommit and helping those on the autism spectrum reach their full potential, and
whereas positive outcome increase for individuals with autism when training is provided to professionals across all systems, including those in education, healthcare, justice, and emergency response setting. And whereas children and adults with autism are our family members, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and students. Each individual with autism is unique, with talents and qualities such as exceptional focus and dedication, and some of the most brilliant minds in the world have included those with autism. And whereas due to every rising rate of autism, now essentially everyone in the United States knows or is touched by someone in the autism spectrum, and the resilience of families and individuals with autism is strength through awareness, acceptance, and support.
Gracias. Whereas the City of Calexico proudly supports the annual observance of Autism and Acceptance Month and the World Autism Accepts Days in the hope that it will lead to a better understanding of autism spectrum disorder syndromes, to work of advocates, professionals, and family members, and all those who work to build a brighter tomorrow along the sides of those autism. And therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of Calexico do by perform proclaims April 2025 as Autism Accept Month, and April 2nd, 2025 as World Autism Accepts the Day of the City of Calexico to raise public awareness, acceptance, and those with autism, as well as to increase knowledge of the programs that have been developed to support individuals with autism and their families. Thank you.
thank you. Ms. Brambilla, would you like to come up?
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Congratulations and such an honor to see you here, Calexico City Council. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking the time and reading such a lengthy proclamation. It is written with love and care, and it has data, statistics added in there, along with everything else that, in a nutshell, describes our loved ones and our families. We have, coming up, Isaac, I did invite different members of our community, which is what this proclamation is about. In 2017, when my son was diagnosed, I wanted to find a purpose to help alleviate that pain, because it is a grieving process that a parent goes through, finding out that the challenges will be stronger for their child, especially if they're considered nonverbal or different challenges that autism comes with. So I began my search, and I thought it was important to go to each city. I started with the county of Imperial, and they proclaimed in 2017. And that year after, I've been going through every single city, because every single family, every single loved one in every single city is important, not just the city I live in. And by doing so, each year, along with the different agencies here, the awareness becomes stronger, the acceptance is now greater, where the stairs are less, where if you're at Walmart, any other convenience store, typically if they heard the noises that your child or your adult loved one is making, the stairs would be strong. Now, they're a little less or a little more understanding. And what I tell people is, when you see us out there with our children struggling, and you have a child or yourself, you don't have to look away. Say hi, come on up, and be welcoming. It's okay. And so with that, I just want to say thank you, and I'm very grateful. Every year, Calexico has been supportive, and I was sure that it would continue with this new leadership. And I'm going to pass on just so that we can have some of our representatives, so some of the faces that help our children and that are available to your families here with us this evening.
Hello, Calexico. I am Rogelio Gonzalez. I'm one of the coordinators from San Diego Regional. We help families as much as possible. I am a native here, Bulldog raised. I also have a kid with autism. Just feel welcome. If you see me in the streets at Walmart, you guys some of you guys already know me. I did coach here for 13 years at Calexico High School as a JV coach and varsity. Calexico for a long time, right? I love my city. That's why I'm here. I represented my kid. He's at home receiving ABA services at this time. But yeah, just join us, San Diego Region. If you guys don't know where is it at, it's behind Dunkin' Donuts, Social Security. That's where we're located, okay?
Hello, good evening. My name is Cynthia Medina. I do work for the county, 8 to 5, but right now I am the resident of Imperial County representing autism moms. Gloria and I have worked together since her beginnings in 2017. Autism touched my heart 5 years ago. So we are in this journey, and I thank her because she has guided me. And I just want to say, like everyone else, accept autism is not anything weird or anything out of the ordinary. It's special, and a smile goes a long ways. So, as my shirt says, love needs no words. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isaac, and I'm a lead therapist here in the Valley for ABS Kids. I work with our children very closely, and I have seen a lot of evolving with how people is accepting our kids right now, how kids are making them feel part of the school environment or the playground or everything, and it's something that it has melted my heart. And I just want to invite you to keep this fighting for our kids to have a safe space where they can feel respected, understood, and be part of something greater than just the diagnosis. Thank you for everything, and we're here to support you.
Thank you so much one more time. We are also in Imperial. Imperial is also honoring their citizens. My goal was to have every single city proclaimed by the 2nd of April, which is Worldwide Autism Acceptance Day, and the goal was met. So James from ASIC is over there. That's why he couldn't be here tonight. And if you go onto the ASIC page, you will see all of their upcoming events. And tomorrow, Brawley also has a horse walk, which is awesome because our children are exposed, and everybody from every city is welcome to horses, which equine therapy, as you may know, can be very beneficial to children. So at least you'll have, you know, a feel of whether they're accepting of equine therapy or not. Isaac is my son's therapist. Just to, in a nutshell, express and explain to you how beneficial ABA therapy is. Last year was our most difficult year yet with autism. He went into his preteen years, nonverbal, so you can imagine. And it's been 3 months or so that Isaac, along with another of his coworkers, worked daily with my child. 3 months in a row, he's gone perfect attendance, and after so many years, he's finally getting Student of the Month again. So just to let you know, help and in-time help makes a difference for our kiddos, and the acceptance a day at a time will come, because autism doesn't stop at 18. You know, it's lifelong, and the challenges and impairments, and not only that, the beauty too, because a lot of people have a misconception that these children or these individuals aren't brilliant. They're inside. Sometimes they're just trapped. But we have to offer those communication ways. The augmentative communication devices, sign language, there are so many other ways, and once they're no longer trapped within their heads, within their bodies or minds, their behaviors lessen. So I just, early intervention, ABA services is key. Looking into SDRC for the help, support, the advocacy to your mom leaders, to your dad leaders that have had the experience is key. So you're not alone. Anybody out there, just know you're not alone. And Calexico, you're a blessing. Thank you for this space. I know you have a busy schedule, and just you loaning us a platform makes a huge difference. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, City Council.
Okay, we move forward to announcements. Okay. Public comment and public appearances.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a time and place for the public to address City Council on an item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The City Clerk will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. Group commenters may be requested to limit their group comments to 15 minutes. The City Council is prohibited by law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comments when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to City Council. Additionally, the Mayor and City Council reserve the right to adjust this time limit based on the number of speakers who wish to address the Mayor and City Council. Comments are limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. If additional time is required for public comments, they will be heard towards the end of the meeting after discussion and potential action items. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
Yes, we do. I will call the first speaker and the second speaker to please stand behind the first speaker. The first speaker is Mr. Luis Pacheco, and can we have Mr. Jesus Solano right behind him?
Good evening, City Council members.
Mr. Pacheco, she would like you to speak to the microphone so she can interpret to Spanish, please.
Anyway, I have some updates for the IID. We're having a community sessions for all the communities to go over the new items that we're trying to install into our programs. We're officially kicking off. Yesterday was our first kickoff in El Centro. In Calexico, you will be visited by our members on the 7th, April 7th at the Calexico Women's Improvement Club. So we'll be there to offer our programs, and we have these just so you can get a sense of what's going to be available. We have a SHIELD program that's there for discounts for seniors with medical costs. We have EASE, lower monthly bills for homes with medical devices that they need to purchase. We will help you with that. We help with READY. READY is a program that helps you with your bills. It'll give you a 30% or 20% discount, and it's all based on your income. If you qualify, you get 30% off your bills, and 20%. Seniors get 30, and those aren't seniors will get a 20%. We'll recycle your refrigerators for you if they're out of no longer working, and we'll pick them up, and if they're running, we'll give you $50 for that. Easy is also, you can qualify for refrigerators and air conditioners, and we'll get discounts for those people that can qualify. We have a project called GLOW. GLOW is interchanging these low green lights for LED lighting for your parks, your little leagues, your football fields. That is a program that will change your lights and make it more safe, sound, and more more lighting for the community. It's going to provide more lighting. A green space, Mr. Calderon, you were talking about the trees. We're investing $525,000 into grants for trees. We're offering that to the cities and communities and to agencies that would want to plant the trees. I think you were interested in that. So those applications need to be in by May the 5th. May the 5th. We want to remind our community members that for the summer months we'll have a 25% reduction in your billing. So for June, July, August, and September, you will receive a 25% discount on your bills. That is something new that we're adding to it. So a lot's happening for the IID, and again, we'll hope to see you there at the Women's Improvement on the 7th. And Mr. Daniels, welcome to our community again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco.
Can we also have Blanca Yurel Muñoz Perez, please?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, city manager, and staff. I'm here with a concern regarding the green space, especially our parks. We all know that there's a great need of parks here. And that the green spaces that we have, we know that we're being using basins. They are officially not parks, but however, that's what we have, that's what we use. The other concern that I have, there's been a lot of negative comment going on regarding in the community about bringing down those two backstops at Cordova. It doesn't make sense. There was a lot of money, a lot of time invested in that. I understand that there's some concerns from the residents about the CFDs, but the CFDs does not cover the building of the parks. It's part of the maintenance, some repairs, and some minor upgrades. But there's also ARPA funding, there's Measure H, there's state funding there. So it doesn't make sense to tear down two brand new parks that we have not even inaugurated right now, okay, brand new parks. We should be working together as council and community. We just came out of a rough recall where the community got polarized, okay? We need to work together to we don't get polarized right now. All the sports is important. Be softball, soccer, baseball, tennis, basketball, football, you name it. All of them are special to an individual. We need to work together and find a solution for this. I don't believe that it's the consensus of this council to bring down those backstops. And the other thing is, based on the report from LAFCO, we are about 47 acres short of green parks. I believe we're a little bit further than that. We need to work together to find some grants, find a solution for this. The other recommendation from LAFCO is for this council to form an ad hoc committee and address the school district. Before, the school district would permit where the citizens of Calexico could utilize the green areas. Now it's not happening. What happened, I don't know. I don't want to know about it either. But this council should get together and form an ad hoc committee to where you address that concern and sit down at the table and open those negotiations again. That is my recommendation, and that's a recommendation from LAFCO too.
Mr. Solano, can you get closer to the mic? I don't think they're recording or picking you up in the.
Oh, I'll speak louder then. Okay, I'll be passive then.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
And then the other thing is that this polarization from one party to the other party, it doesn't make sense. It's not healthy for the community. It's not going to end up well, okay? And believe me, we are not in agreement of taking those parks down. If it comes down to that part, that section, don't force us to file an injunction against the city. We don't want to go that route. The other thing is we are demanding a town hall meeting as soon as possible to resolve this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Solano. Okay, next.
Blanca
Public comment.
Yurel Muñoz, and then after that, Victor Rocha.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es...
Hold on, man. Can we have the IT check the mic? You're not transmitting, the committee's not hearing you at all. Sorry. Por favor,
¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes. Con todo respeto me dirijo a ustedes para expresar una gran preocupación que estoy viviendo el día de hoy como madre. Estoy aquí como madre de Hugo Madrigal y de Alan Arellano para expresar mi profunda preocupación y falta de seguridad y atención que mis hijos han recibido en sus respectivas escuelas, William Moreno y Rodwood Elementary. El miércoles pasado mi hijo Hugo fue agredido dentro de la escuela William Moreno, lo que resultó en la fractura de 2 huesos, uno en la clavícula y otro en el antebrazo izquierdo. Hasta el momento nadie se ha hecho responsable de lo sucedido. Cuando acudí a la escuela y a la policía me han pedido paciencia, pero mi hijo sigue afectado física y emocionalmente. Él se niega ahorita a volver a escuela, dice que tiene miedo a volver a ser agredido y a que se burlen de él. Desde ese día no hemos podido descansar. Este no es un caso aislado. Hace un mes al recogerlo lo encontré en la dirección con un ojo morado. Al reportarlo al consejero dijo que si mi hijo no hablaba él no podía hacer nada. Llamé a disciplina un par de veces y me dijeron que investigarían, pero nunca recibí respuesta hasta que ocurrió esta agresión el pasado miércoles. Mi hijo ahora tiene miedo, como les digo, de regresar a la escuela, en un lugar donde se supone que debería estar seguro y protegido. Además, mi hijo Alan Arellano, que tiene 7 años y tiene autismo grado 2, también ha sufrido constantes incidentes en la escuela Rodwood. Desde el inicio del año escolar, Alan ha llegado a casa casi todos los días con moretes y lesiones, pero debido a su condición tiene vocabulario limitado y no puede expresar lo que sucede fácilmente. Está en una clase regular y solo lo tienen lo sacan en momentos en AIP, y su maestra me ha dicho que no le entiende. En una ocasión, cuando intenté comunicarle que otro niño lo había empujado y traía sus manitas con puntos rojos de la tierra, de las piedritas, lo mandó a sentar, le dijo que no le había entendido y que ella tenía muchos niños y que mandó a sentar a mi hijo. Alan usa pañal y en varias ocasiones ha llegado sucio a casa sin que nadie me informe al respecto. Incluso ha llegado sin pañal y ha llegado sucio de su ropita. Tampoco me han notificado eso, y al momento que yo les notifiqué me han dicho que ellos no sabían, que Alan no fue y les pidió ayuda y en otra ocasión estuvo mojado gran parte del día porque otro niño lo aventó un charco de agua y nadie notó hasta que yo llegué por él. Esta situación es muy preocupante para mí. Como madre de mis hijos, y todos los niños merecen estar en un ambiente seguro y recibir la atención y el apoyo adecuado para sus necesidades. No quiero que esto le pase a ningún otro niño ni a ninguna otra madre. Pido que se tomen medidas inmediatas para mejorar la seguridad y la supervisión de ambas escuelas. Gracias por su atención y espero su compromiso y su apoyo para el bienestar de todos los estudiantes. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Por favor, pásele su información al jefe de policía y él le va a dar seguimiento. Gracias.
Victor Rocha, and can we have Miguel Guerreña?
Good evening. My name is Victor Rocha. I'm going to be as quick as possible, so welcome, City Manager.
Thank you.
First thing I'm going to be requesting, you fix the following. We need to have the Nosotros Park. We need to have the Nosotros Park fixed. You allocated $500,000. It's been allocated for over 2 years, and nothing has been done. You guys ran with the, supposedly, we want to change Calexico. It remains the same. There is no request for proposals. There is nothing to indicate that it's moving forward. So I urge you to start moving on those items. Our kids need it desperately. They have no place to play. They have no grounds to really call themselves and calm themselves. Otherwise, you see all this tagging all over the place. That's a sign that our kids are hurting and they want to hurt someone. So please pay attention to what I'm telling you. Let's start fixing our fields, our parks. Money has been allocated. Fix that one. You don't have money for another one? Let's wait until let's apply for grants. But we have the Nosotros Park. You have $500,000. The water plant field needs to be improved. Kids need it. They're going to start playing games. And I've been asking since your old city manager was here to fix it, and nothing has been done. Also, the Legion field was put up for sale, and you have no place for adults to play. That's the only field that is designed for adults. And kids that are in the youth area, so. Also the Cordova field, let's address it. You have 3 fields that were not supposed to be there. There's only one field that it was called for. Everybody knows that. It's the process. We went through that process already. Okay, you did not notify those individuals that live in that community. You're impacting considerably. I used to be the president of the Calexico Little League for years. And we had only one field, and it just, you put too many kids in one place, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have an accident. So let's diverse our community. And why can't the kids on the west side have their own fields? Why don't we use those fields? The water plant is out there. They were designed so everyone within our communities can play. But we're all fighting each other when we can just fix what we got. And let's get our act together. You have a group that is fighting another group that we want this, we want that. But also, Teco Monroy, please fix that one up. My brother already it's the field that is right at the border. That's what welcome to Calexico.
Thank you, Mr. Rocha.
Next speaker is Miguel Guerreño, and after that will be Yolanda Cunningham.
Buenas tardes a todos. Yo soy Miguel Guerreño. Gusto en estar con ustedes, que me permiten hablar. Nosotros no estamos en contra del deporte. Yo soy residente de Victoria Villas. Estamos alrededor del parque del Field Córdoba. Entonces, ya escucharon a nuestro vecino. Tenemos unas preguntas que no las hago yo, las hacemos todos. Una de las preguntas es, ¿por qué no se consultó a los residentes del vecindario sobre la construcción de estas 3 canchas de béisbol en medio de nuestra zona residencial? Supuestamente, originalmente, lo que yo tengo entendido, que iba a ser una de...
¿Se puede acercar poquito más al micrófono?
Oh, sí, disculpe. Teníamos entendido que iba a ser una de béisbol, una de soccer y otra de básquetbol. Entonces se hicieron 3 de béisbol. No estamos en contra del deporte, ¿no? No estamos en contra de que los niños vayan a lugares bonitos, a un área verde y todo. Pero nosotros estamos esperando que se hiciera una cosa más equilibrada, que hubiera para todos, no nomás para... Si a mí me gusta el béisbol, hago 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 canchas de béisbol, pues como que no es justo. Los que quieren jugar otra cosa, voleibol, básquetbol, soccer, pues ya no tienen espacio. O nos van a dejar lo que sobra, queda un pedacito ahí, ok, eso se los damos a ustedes para que no estén buscando más. Otra pregunta, ¿por qué son las 3? Vuelvo a repetir, 3 canchas en vez de una. ¿Cuál es el beneficio? ¿O en qué se basaron para construirlos? No nos pidieron opinión, nada más se hizo. Todos tenemos privilegios. La Liga de Béisbol que está llevando a cabo los eventos ahí, ¿de qué privilegios goza? ¿Por qué el parque que está en el vecindario La Joya no se utiliza casi nunca? Bueno, casi nunca, sí ha de usarse, pero no tan seguido. ¿Estará menos equipado? ¿Estará más feo? Posiblemente. ¿Por qué la ciudad de Calexico no hace un lugar especial como en otras ciudades que tienen estadios o tienen sus parques especiales para béisbol y no en la zona residencial? Para evitar confrontaciones entre los residentes que estamos ahí viviendo. A veces hay demasiados carros, hay demasiada gente, niños salen de entre los carros atravesando la calle, perros, gatos, es un desorden. No digo que todo el tiempo, pero sí sucede. Yo lo que pienso y les pregunto, ¿no es una obligación de la ciudad de Calexico crear este tipo de instalaciones en lugares que no sean residenciales y con más amplitud para promover el deporte? Nosotros no estamos en contra del deporte. Lo curioso es que nuestros hijos ya crecieron y muchas cosas que ahora están en el parque pues antes no estaban, ¿no? Y nosotros hemos estado pagando los impuestos desde hace varios años, bastantes años, y no se nos toma en cuenta. Esa es la pregunta. ¿Por qué no se nos consulta o se nos toma en cuenta si van a hacer algo, ya sea para bien o para mal, pero que nos tomen en cuenta? Así como cuando van a nuestras casas para pedir el voto y que quieren que les demos ayuda para llegar a un lugar como el que están ahorita, ¿por qué después ya se olvidan de nosotros? Nada más cuando les surge a ustedes, o nada más, debería ser justo, esa es la cuestión.
Muchas gracias.
Muy amables, gracias.
Next speaker is Yolanda Cunningham, and can we have Yesenia Liera come up?
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Yolanda Cunningham y vivo en esta ciudad de Calexico, en el 1901 Fillmore Avenue. Quiero mencionar que nunca pensamos, mi esposo y yo, que comprar una casa se convertiría en esta pesadilla. A la persona malintencionada que enreda a la gente con mentiras, les digo que todo el trámite de compra y traspaso a la ciudad se hizo completamente con legalidad. ¿Okay? Se le entregó un terreno a la ciudad, se le dio una cantidad y se hizo completamente todo de acuerdo a derecho. Allí no hay ninguna duda de eso. Además, le digo a la persona que menciona que hay muchos niños esperando canchas, que también, porque una persona menciona que hay muchos niños esperando sus canchas de béisbol, pero también les menciono que también hay muchos niños, y entre ellos mi hija, esperando por canchas de básquetbol, por otras cosas que nos prometieron, y tanto esos niños como los otros tienen derecho. Por eso es que estamos buscando algo equilibrado para todos. Ese parque, a través de todos estos años, ha sido un pleito. Al principio el PAL lo quería, después vinieron otro tipo de organizaciones y lo querían. Si nos ponemos a indagar, nos vamos a dar cuenta de todo eso. Ese parque se hizo para la comunidad, para que hubiera cosas para todos, no para estarnos peleando. Ha sido abusado perfectamente durante todos estos años y todos lo sabemos. Bueno, disculpen. están violando, lo único que puedo decir es que están violando el derecho a los residentes, porque a nosotros jamás se nos notificó de lo que se iba a hacer, y eso está en contra de la ley. Nosotros estamos pagando por años y vamos a pagar por 20 años más. ¿Ustedes creen que la gente está contenta? No. Mucha de la gente que aquí está creando divisiones ni siquiera vive en nuestra comunidad. Y no nada más en nuestra comunidad, ni siquiera viven en esa parte residencial. Nosotros estamos pagando doble impuesto, porque con el impuesto de nuestra casa ya pagamos para los parques y aparte tenemos que pagar el CFT. Les estoy pidiendo por favor de nuevo, sé que quieren actuar con transparencia, sé que ustedes yo quiero creer que las cosas se van a clarificar, estoy confiando en eso, no solo yo, sino toda una comunidad. Les pedimos por favor que solamente hagan las cosas de acuerdo a derecho, a la legalidad. A veces va a haber cosas que no nos van a gustar, pero nosotros somos los más afectados, los residentes de esa comunidad. Por favor, les pido, por favor, que entiendan, que tengan empatía. Y a todos esos padres que están aquí dividiendo, peleando, también les pido que por favor vean en su corazón que también nosotros hemos sido víctimas de esto. Por favor. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Yesenia Liera and Jesús Iniguez.
Who was the first person?
Yesenia Liera.
Okay, so they're not here. Okay.
And then can we have Astrid Calderas?
English or Spanish, doesn't matter. Bueno, como decía la señora, tenemos a good evening, council. First of all, we closer.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, you know, the community voted for you guys. We needed great leaders because we didn't have those. And I really thought we do have great leaders, but you guys got to get together and work together. There's 5 councilmen, and sometimes I don't see that. I see divided like the last time that we were here. Also, she's talking about the park. I can complain about the school. The school is a lot worse than a park because you always have so many traffic, left and right, every day, every morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. You go through Duke School, Jefferson School, Kiki Camarena, which is around my house. I can say, I don't want those schools around my area. I can't help it. We knew there was going to be a school. We knew we were going to have to pay a fee or something like that. You know, if I don't like it, maybe I would have to move somewhere else. But we learned to deal with our own problems. Sooner or later, you know what? Like you said, we have kids. They grow up, they leave. But we also have grandkids. I don't know how many of you have grandkids. If you don't have one right now, you will have one in the future. You say, hey, we didn't do a park. We didn't have this. I'm against that the park has to be like broken down. In reality, that park was supposed to be 2 baseball fields and a softball field. Softball died about 5 years ago. We revived it one more time this year. We have like 40 girls right now in softball only. But we have almost close to 200 kids in baseball. You know, our community does need the sport because we have a lot of graffiti going around. I understand the lady, her concern, Mrs. Cunningham and stuff like that. But how do you tell a community that voted for you guys that we're going to take this away from our kids? It's como telling your kids, el vecino le pegó a tu hijo. So what are you going to say? Are you going to get mad? Of course, as a parent, I want to fight for my kids. I've been a volunteer for 40 years, and I'm not going to let this happen. Como dice una persona, tú sabes, not on my watch, this is not going to happen. I'm going to fight for my kids and for my community because I lived my entire life here for 60 years. And I've been, like I said, volunteer, baseball, softball, soccer, whatever it is out there. You know, I respect Mrs. Estrada with what she does every day. I don't know if she's got 1,000 kids out there, but you know what? She has a good program, no matter what. But we do have Nosotros Park, and we have Casitas Park, which hasn't been worked on. We need to work on those fields for her to have more access to more fields on the other side of town. Like somebody was saying, we don't have anything on the west side of town, only on the east side. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Astrid Calderas and Alfredo Figueroa.
Buenas tardes, miembros del concilio y miembros de la comunidad. Quiero mencionar que aunque no fue el actual concilio quien decidió rediseñar el Parque Córdoba, me gustaría que ustedes consideren que a pesar de que los residentes del área aledaña por décadas hemos estado pagando las cuotas y que además en ningún momento se nos consultó o se nos tomó en consideración sobre los cambios que realizaron en el diseño original. Además, es enormemente desproporcional el área que asignaron para el espacio de béisbol, softball, en comparación con el área que, entre comillas, asignaron para la comunidad de la vecindad. Hasta el momento no hemos observado ningún avance. Confiamos en que cada uno de ustedes, miembros del concilio, como representantes de la comunidad, tomará una decisión basada en lo justo para nuestra comunidad. Aprovecho para mencionar otro aspecto de suma importancia que me gustaría consideren, es el riesgo de la salud que representa el cauce original del Río Nuevo. Si bien este finalmente se entubó, nadie ha mencionado cuándo cubrirán lo que era la base del río, puesto que se sabe que es uno de los ríos más contaminados de la nación y similar a la situación de Salton-Sea, los residuos tóxicos que están en la base serán expuestos y eventualmente llegarán a los hogares de las personas que viven alrededor del río, y no solamente eso, también al resto de nuestra comunidad. Estamos bajo el nivel del mar. Por décadas, esta comunidad aledaña al Río Nuevo ha sido gravemente afectada por la contaminación. Les pido que hagamos conciencia. Gracias.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to take one more public comment, and then that would be the 30 minutes for public comment, and we would resume after discussion and potential action items. So who's next?
I'm next.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Alfredo Figueroa. I'm a resident here in Calexico. Okay, I'm here as a coach. Okay, I hear a lot of people complaining about demolishing the fields. You know, I don't think it's fair. Okay, they're complaining about, hey, we never got consideration about it, this and that. Okay, I would rather have a field than have a prison or a detention center or a facility in my backyard. Okay, the baseball fields, we need them. They're for the kids. Okay, as a coach, we face a lot of things. Right now, there's not enough fields. We're playing with each other. Okay, we're having to share the fields, you know, and we have to practice. We rotate. Okay, we need more fields. It's not just baseball; it's also softball. Okay, I don't want to have to drive out of my city to go take my kid to go play baseball. Okay, and it's only one of the few sports that he likes, so I want to see him play. Okay, things that I see here in Calexico, our fields are not the best, but as parents, we do what we can. Okay, if something needs to get painted, we do it. If something needs to get fixed, we do it. We don't wait on the city. We take it care as a community. Okay, a lot of people don't get to see all that, but I could tell you that there was parents the other day at Nosotros Park painting the walls. Okay, all the graffiti, fixing the fences. Okay, that is why I'm here. Again, softball and baseball hasn't been around, and it's a sport that a lot of kids play. There's 11 players, okay, and they're constantly playing, so a lot of rotation, so it gets more people playing time, okay. Other than that, I think it's a mistake, okay. I think it's a mistake for you guys to demolish that. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we will move on to the city manager's report.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the council, I have provided you with a written version of my report, but I want to start by asking the police chief to identify a couple significant law enforcement issues that arose recently that I want to make sure that the public, but more so you, are fully informed. So, Chief.
Good evening, Council, ladies and gentlemen in public. This week, we've had a pretty busy week at the police department. Your police officers have been really active. Starting with the middle of last week, your officers helped detain a stolen vehicle suspect on the north end of town, over by the Rockwood and Cole area. To such a degree that even they had to stop a lynching from occurring. Some of the victims' families started showing up and tried to get at the suspect, and that one officer had to call for help, in which we received help from Border Patrol, BLM, and so a lot of you guys called us in reference to what was going on, and so that was what that incident was. And the reason I'm bringing it up, that way you know what all those lights and sirens tearing through your city was going on. Also, another significant incident that occurred over the weekend is your Detective Bureau apprehended a attempted homicide suspect in the city of Brawley with the assistance of joint cooperation of Brawley PD, El Centro PD, and the U.S. Border Patrol. This highlights the necessity for having the investigations division. We also detained the extortionist that a lot of you saw on our social media page in the downtown area that was running through the downtown to Mexico. Well, he tried to cross back, and since we got him identified thanks to the help of the public, he was able to be detained at the port of entry. So that's one less person that's out on our city streets. Obviously, we want to mention that we're celebrating in the month of April Autism Awareness. Your police officers are wearing specially designed patches, as you can see, to commemorate autism, so we can start the discussion to ask your officer, so that way we can talk about autism awareness. It's an initiative that we started this year. It's the first year ever. What else do we talk about? 2 officers have been nominated for the MAD Award. We have 2 officers that have exceeded over 30 arrests of DUIs here in your city. So we've put them up for awards through Mothers Against Drug Drivers. So we've put in the application, and we expect to get a positive result because of the amount of DUIs they've done compared to how many DUIs the whole department has done for the last year. So that was thanks to that grant, the DUI grant that we received, that we were able to buy a truck last year with. And we've been sending out all our officers that want to go to this DUI training to go and get certified. So these officers are more confident. They know what to look for now, and you're seeing the results on the streets. And that's my report.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, you will notice that in your packets, or tonight, I forget which, you received a master calendar of city holidays or days off. Oh, you will get. This will also be posted on the webpage on days that City Hall is closed. I see too many people coming to the City Hall trying to conduct business, and we're working on trying to get that resolved. But the first is to let people know when the City Hall might be closed. At the last meeting, I informed you that we had a problem in our department, that the public employee retirement system, that there had been errors. We were notified by PERS of that, and through the hard work of Carla, she has got those down to 4 cases that we're dealing with right now. I also informed you that we had received grants in the past that staff had not completed the closeout on those grants. We have those down to 80% completed, and we expect to have that done in the next 2 weeks. We had 5 grants that the city received from FEMA and California Office of Emergency Services. We've resolved 4 of the 5 of those, and the 5th is expected to be closed out within a week. This last week, we were made aware and submitted for 4 street projects, one of which is the 2nd Street Bridge that application will be going in. The other is Beach Canal that we are working on as well. We also have, working with Imperial County, they received $500,000 that they can't spend for the New River project. We are meeting with them later this week to add that to our project. And then in Cenas Avenue from 98th to 5th, we're looking at repaving. With Imperial Irrigation District, you see the guy who's left, the gentleman's left, that we are working, they are providing us with valves to be able to manage the drainage water that's going in there and to be able to make those retention basins available for soccer and other play activities. They're going to provide the equipment. We're going to install those. And Liliana is working with them on trying to get that work scheduled. We have vacancies at the city. We are recruiting an HR manager and 2 HR technicians. My goal is to have those positions filled by next week. There is a grants manager position that my intent is to have that filled the following week. We are recruiting for a public works director. We have a dozen public works projects that we have received the money, but we need to get the projects engineered and out the door and built. Obviously, you're recruiting for a city manager, and I expect to have by the 1st of June 2 or 3 candidates for you to interview. There is a firefighter position that we are in interviews now. Your fire chief position is vacant, and we need to get that position filled, as well as a fleet maintenance supervisor, and we have a laborer position that's vacant. So those are underway. If anybody from the community has interest in those, contact City Hall tomorrow. I love being able to hire local residents for these kind of positions. We have a contract, exclusive franchise with Republic Services. There are a number of tasks that are in that contract that I have questions about whether they're being fully complied with. For example, they are to have a sign to downtown to make sure that area is cleaned, that they are to pressure wash the sidewalks on a weekly basis. I don't see that, and there's some other things that need to be done. On the 9th of April, our Public Works is going to be opening construction bids for Scaroni Road from Cole north to the interchange that's north about maybe 2 miles. That bid is out, but we're going to open low bid, so we'll be coming to you shortly thereafter. We can qualify the low bid and ask you to release that money and pick a contractor. Also on the 9th of April, we are awarding bids for the Enrique Camarena Memorial Library parking lot, the Community Center parking lot, and the Police Department parking lot rehabilitation. On economic development, they are working with getting the final plans for Chick-fil-A to be constructed, but also we have a proposal in front of us to convert the old Safeway into a Ross Dress for Less store with a very reputable developer that I'm quite familiar with. At the library, they've been participating in career days at the elementary schools to create visions for elementary school kids about what do they want to be when they grow up. I mean, what careers might they develop an interest in? I wanted to be a firefighter or a Major League Baseball player, and I'm a city manager. But at least I had the dream at one point. The Carpenters Union will be volunteering to assist paint the interior of the library. And I'm hoping we can get to the outside too, but we're hoping they can begin this coming weekend. Somebody mentioned the volunteer work that's done, and it is truly outstanding. The mural project awardee, Mia Salinas, has begun painting the library container and expects to finish by the 6th of April, just in time for National Library Week. On recreation, we have the 117th anniversary of the city, and hopefully we'll be able by the 14th, and I just said we'd have it done by the 6th, but we want that mural completed. On the 15th is It's a Lego World art exhibit opening night for kids that will love it. April 16th is proclamation of the city of Calexico's 117th anniversary. On the 17th, there is a time capsule that was buried in 1995, and we will be opening that. And then the Easter egg hunt is this Saturday at, it's right here. At 9 a.m. at Crummett. So bring your kids and enjoy it. I want to make one comment also that based on some of the testimony that was presented earlier this evening. And that is that the council has later on their agenda appointment of a Community Facilities District Commission. And instead of a commission, which comes with a lot of red tape, what I want to inform the council is I have begun an audit of all the CFDs, including Cordova Park. And I've asked, it's easy for me to get the information on when the land use approval was approved for that subdivision and exactly what was approved in that subdivision. The money is a little bit different. So I'm working with Carla and have asked her to provide all information on each of the community facilities districts, when they were formed, when the bonds were sold, for how much proceeds have been received, and the legally required financial reports that have to be filed with the trustee, which is U.S. Bank, every year, and then they distribute to the bondholders. The finance director so that'll tell us how much was supposed to have been billed and how much was actually received, and we'll report that to you by property owner. So it will be in excruciating detail, because I think in order to get to the bottom of this, we need that detail. So the finance director will also provide information on how every dime of those assessments have been, where they were spent on, including what contractor, what vendor, and how much, and when. And she'll be able to report on assessments by property owner, but really what I'm interested in is what was the money spent on. Now, all financial information will be reviewed by a third-party independent auditor. So it won't be what Carla and I have developed. It will be an audit will be done by a third-party independent auditing company that will verify a license as best as we can get, because this issue needs to get resolved. In my observation of only a month, it's divisive, it is causing people grief, and concern, and it needs to be resolved. So what I'm asking is that the city council, in the spirit of transparency, when it comes time for the oversight commission, or for the CFD commission, that instead they appoint an oversight committee, a task force, to which all of this information will go, a group for me to help identify, is there any other information that you as property owners need to have so you can know how much money came in, how much money went out, where did it come from, where did it go? And I believe, and with all sincerity, if this, so I'm going to ask the council to change the name of the group tonight, but that they have the oversight task force will work with me as we get that information to you, and then you will also review all that information. And then when it comes time for the council to consider it, that you, as informed citizens, will be able to provide them testimony on what the solution to not only Cordova Park, but Hearthstone and any others that were created. Because I just think it requires that level of transparency and that level of commitment. And then I've got some other comments when it comes to the Community Services Commission. But if anybody who heard what I had to say, if you want to talk to me about it, I'm at City Hall every day. If you want to, if I miss something that you think ought to be investigated, write me a letter, give me a phone call, come and visit, because I want to do this once. But I want to be absolutely as thorough as possible so you can have confidence that what is said, what is reported, what you review is indeed accurate. So I would ask for your cooperation and your commitment. I'm going to make that commitment, and I want that information to come to you. You will notice also tonight that we receive a considerable amount of written testimony that some people, because of jobs, because of family commitments, church commitments, can't attend and testify like many of you testified tonight. Therefore, they submit written testimony. Anything that we receive on the Friday before the council meeting is included in the council packet, and the council gets that written material. So they read that when they read the staff reports and look at the maps and contracts and everything else. But we get some written testimony that comes in. We got some today, I think 4 or 5 pieces. We do our very best to get that to council as well. So they've received everything we received today out of the extraordinary efforts of our city clerk. They receive them in written form, and they are provided to the city council. And you can be assured the city council reads those, and they are used in the consideration of their business. I'm asking the council not to require the city clerk to read those out loud from beginning to end. And the reason I'm doing that is those are not her words. The information might not be accurate. The information might be biased in one way or the other, and when you hear the city clerk speak, you should be able to rely on that those are her words based on her assignments and not reading the words of someone else. So that is a change. I'm asking the council to consider it. I have checked with the city attorney, that's indeed allowable. But the main point is that your written testimony gets to the city council, and the city council has the obligation to read that before they make decisions. So everybody follow me? I'm just asking that the clerk not read them as if they're her own words. I personally don't think that's fair to her or to anybody else who might confuse her reading words as speaking for the responsibility of her office. So, Madam Mayor, that completes my report. I'd be glad to answer any questions now or after the meeting. But if anybody has a question, anybody wants to meet, that's my job. And I will meet with anybody, anywhere, anytime about any topic. And I firmly believe that people need to have access to their city government. And all you have to do is have enough gas in your car to get here, and you get 3 minutes, or a stamp and you can mail it, or an email and you can mail your comments. But it is important that the city residents and businesses feel that they have access to raise issues with their local government and to get responses from their local government. And I've heard the story on Cordova Park, 4 different versions. I've heard the story on Hearthstone CFD, 3 different versions, but we are going to get to the bottom of that. And I ask your patience and participation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We will move to City Council comments and reports. Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi.
Yes. Last week, Council Member Lencho Calderon, Planning Director Michael Coyne, Garland's CEO Robert Granich, Acting Lieutenant Cunha, Code Enforcement Officer Miguel Munoz, and City Personnel Mark Vasquez, and the downtown area, walking, looking at our sidewalks, talking to business personnel, and looking at, later on I'll discuss this under the future agendas, some of the deficiencies that we had seen out there that could be fixed, and some of the things that are working right now. So thank you, and we're going to continue, as I call it, patrolling our downtown area every so often, just to make sure that everything's clean, and it looks like it's working out really well. The mayor and I met with some stakeholders, citizens for a coffee, Jack in the Box. Usually it's our Thursday meets, and it's always with different people. And I believe we're going to meet again, not the mayor and I, but whoever wants to show up tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at Jack in the Box, go ahead and be there. Maybe Lencho and I will be there. Not sure if he wants to. And he's been there before.
I don't patrol anymore.
Jack in the Box. We attended the fire department's grant announcement. I want to thank the fire chief again. He's been thanked a zillion times for doing such a great job. A job that was assisted by community members approximately 5 months ago, 9 months ago. So I want to thank you, and your fire personnel did an outstanding job putting this together. And again, thank you to citizens of Calexico for submitting. Thank you for that. Also, I attended, you and I, Marcus and I attended, the first Little League game, the under 8-year-old kids. It's funny. We were having such a great time looking at these under 8-year-old kids trying to hit the ball. There was one kid that did an excellent job, a female, outstanding. I attended a meeting with FEMA, reference to monetary recovery from the COVID era, something that should have been done a long time ago. And I continued with my commissioner's interviews, and it's going to continue on. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Marquez.
Since our last meeting, I was able to attend the Twilight concert that was placed on by our lovely Miss Gerardo. and it was well attended. I really liked the presentation, and it's one of my goals to make sure that we're bringing meaningful and good art and arts to the city of Calexico. I feel our citizens deserve that. Councilmember Calderon was also there, and we did kind of had some funds. The work was pro bono by the artists, but this was in order for us to get some funds so that we can utilize them for the community center. Also, we were able to participate during the opening day for the Little League. We were there, Mr. Legaspi and myself. It was very fun to see the little kids running all over the place, but it was very well put together. The citizens did a great job. Thank you for the work that you've been putting into the parks. They've been working together, troubleshooting and working as a community. I think City Council and the community members will be able to bring these fields to where we need them to be for our kiddos. Also, we did meet again for the first Little League game of the 8 and under. It was quite amusing and really nice. I like to see that our youth is getting involved, because the more that we have these programs for them, the less likely they'll be out on the street. So also, I was able to meet with the city clerk, planning and building director, and the city manager to talk over certain procedures and certain questions that we had from members of the community. Mr. Legaspi was there as well. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Calderon?
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I think Ms. Marquez is underrating her program. I also attended this concert at the Carmen Durazo Cultural Building. Actually, there was, I don't have the words to describe the environment of this concert, but I do want to take this time, Ms. Marquez, because I think you had a lot to do with it. I applaud you and for taking the time and bringing this type of art to Calexico. I hadn't heard this type of, I think we could call it classical jazz, since I was in San Diego State in 1986. Again, it was a good concert. You made a good presence. I mean, you sold a lot of tickets, and it was a good cheap night. I took my wife, and we enjoyed the concert. It was good, and I hope we can bring some more of these concerts to Calexico. Also, on March 25th, I attended the T-Mobile Grand Presentation at Fire Station 1. Chief, congratulations again to you and to your staff for putting this together and actually receiving $45,000 for new hoses and nozzles and everything. And this this equipment is. It helps our firefighters fight the fires easier when they go out there. So again, thank you for all the hard work and that you put into this grant. On March 27th, I also toured, like Mr. Legaspi said earlier, with staff and a merchant from downtown. This was an eye-opener. I had just heard from rumors and so forth. I stood in one of the alleys, I think it was Heffernan, and I've smelled a lot of things in my life, but to stand there and get the whiff of the wind, it's bad, really bad. I mean, I can't even describe the smell of what we were smelling. We saw refrigerators, we saw cardboard boxes everywhere. It was a disaster. And hopefully, Mr. City Manager, you say we have a contract with our garbage. I hope that they're spray washing these sidewalks, because I don't think they've been spray washed since probably 15 years. So we need to get on top of that, and hopefully we can get rid of that smell. So when our customers come down to downtown, they don't get a swift of this bad smell of Calexico. Also, we noticed that there was a lot of phone vendors throughout the city, and I think none of them have actually licenses to do this. So I hope that our court enforcers are out there making sure that they do have all the paperwork so they can continue their business. A lot of the areas, I'm talking areas, keep their front entrance is they're very dirty. So hopefully that the merchants are hearing me. Please clean the entrance of your store, because that tells the customer a lot about you. And hopefully you can maintain the entrance of your store so you can have more customers come into your store. Last but not least, a lot of businesses were not in compliance with signage, with the sidewalks. Again, they're very dirty, so if they can, take care of their front store a little by little, we can change the image of this downtown. On March 26th, I also attended the Imperial County Transportation Commission in Imperial. There was a lot of projects throughout the Imperial and also in Calexico. The first project that we have in Calexico is the Calexico Intermodal Transportation Center, which is located in the old Thrifties. I'm sure if you've gone downtown, they already began to fence it in. This is going to be a transportation center that will provide additional parking for private buses, for taxis, and foreign labor buses. The ICT will also, is located in the old Thrifty complex. This construction began this week, and the project is anticipated to take a year to complete. So hopefully we'll have buses coming in and help our economy in downtown. Second, Calexico Eastport Intermodal Transportation Center. This project will be built in the East Port of Calexico. The transportation hub will integrate various modes of transportation, including public transit buses. The facility will offer amenities such as shades, seating, bicycle parking, signages, and travel guidance. In addition, this project will bring 4 zero non-emission vehicles to provide public transportation services from the Eastport to the one here that's being built. And the last thing that I want to mention, 2nd Street and Anza Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project. This is the bridge that actually takes you on the west side that is inoperable for how long it's been? How long has it been in?
8 years.
8 years?
No.
So,
2 years?
So we have ICTC working with Caltrans to develop an approach towards proceeding with the development of required environmental engineering phases to rehabilitate this bridge. So hopefully in the near future we can fix this bridge and open the west side of our city. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Calderon. Councilmember Thailenda and myself met with State Senator Steve Padilla. We took him to visit the area for the Heber Park, for the Anza Bridge that Councilmember Calderon just mentioned, and he looked also at the new river. So he's committed to help our community and get the necessary resources so that we can first of all, start the Heber Park project, and obviously bring it to completion, and the Anza Bridge as well. We've been talking to the senators, to the congressmen, on getting the funding so that we can repair that bridge, because it's a very important bridge for us. It's been out of commission for about 3 years, and it pretty much doesn't, when you're leaving the outlets driving west, there used to be a bridge where you could go across, and then it will take you to 98 And it's really, the fact that it's been down for so long has really affected the Grand Plaza outlets, the access to it, because those outlets are right in between the border traffic and the Anza Bridge. So what happens is that the shoppers that come to Calexico, they end up just crossing our city and going to shop in El Centro because there's no access to our shopping areas, and that affects the city in ways that, you know, we cannot, we don't receive the sales tax from the shopping that could be happening in our city. So that's a very important project for us, and fortunately we've had our state and federal representatives listen to us, and they've been down here, and they're finding funding for us. So that happened. We also met with Caltrans staff to review the proposals for the redirection of the border traffic. So that's already in the works. Caltrans is the one that's helping us do the assessment. So now again, it's about looking for funding, which we're constantly doing. The city manager, myself, and Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi, we've been meeting on grant opportunities that have been presented to us to figure out ways to fund all these necessary projects that the city needs. We also, the city manager and myself, we attended a leadership seminar that was offered by the Institute of Local Government, which is one of the items that's going to be later on the agenda, so that we can enter into an agreement with them, and they're going to help us start these projects like the Heber Park, so that we can finally complete that very much needed project for our city. And that's all I have. Now we're going to move over to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Madam Mayor, we have a public comment.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. Go ahead.
Victor Rocha for item number 8.
Try to be as brief as possible again. I just wanted to remind Councilman Legaspi, he cannot participate on it. You need to recuse yourself from participating in it. Item number 8 involves his wife. Therefore, he has a conflict of interest. And also, just wanted to remind you guys that I'll just stick to that item, that the findings that you had was because of the previous council members not paying attention to what they were doing or what they were supposed to do. Luckily, CalPERS decided not to penalize the city of Calexico, and especially the employees that were affected by the lack of the decisions of the city council back then. They're asking you to approve it, but with the understanding that someone made a terrible mistake. And you guys need to present it to the community, the findings, and explain it to the community. Why you shouldn't be putting on a consent agenda rather than putting it as an action item. So we have an opportunity to discuss it, and now we have to pull it out. Those are items that are informational items, not as well just an action items. The previous council members did not act on certain things. And one of the things that I'm requesting you guys is, I think I texted 3 of you council members about the position of the finance director. The previous council members advertised as a finance director. Her title, her official title is finance director, city treasurer. She was hired, but never as a city treasurer. The city treasurer has a responsibility. The only person that has the authority to sign checks. Am I correct? So she hasn't been appointed. So who's signing the checks? That means you're cutting checks with an unauthorized, and your city attorney should have caught that. Not only did he let, if you notice, her contract has never been approved by him. So I'm telling you, because of this action, the repercussions that it can have, all we need to do is correct it before it becomes a legal issue. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rocha. Would you? Yes.
Yeah, I motion to approve all these items with the exception, I'd like to pull number 8.
Do I have a second? You want to pull it for discussion?
Yes.
I'll second that. Roll call.
I would like to, with the consultation of the city attorney I just had right now, I'd like to recuse myself on this one.
Yes, so it's going to be pulled. So, roll call?
Mayor Diana Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Victor Legaspi,
Abstain.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda is absent, Councilmember Adriana Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Lorenzo Calderon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we're going to move item number 8 to item number 13?
Yeah. And
How does that work?
Correct. If you pull an item from consent, we hear it now, at this point in time.
Okay, we want to hear it first?
Correct. If you pull,
Okay.
if it's on consent, we'll just, we hear it after
Okay,
you approve the
so
balance.
then let's
yeah,
hear
I pulled
item.
it for discussion.
So then, okay.
And the reason I pulled it for discussion, Mr. Rocha, I feel the same way you do. We promise you transparency, and that's why I'm pulling it, because I want to make sure that you, not you, but everyone in our community understands where we're at and where we're cleaning up from the last councils. So with that said, I send the floor to Mr. Daniels there, and he's going to explain to
Actually,
us. Or you,
we'll do, yeah.
okay,
We're
well,
gonna figure this
that's
out.
where we're at with this. Thank you.
Okay, so we're moving on to item number 8. It says, I'm going to read it first to what we're asking the council to do. Approval of the memorandum of understanding between the City of Calexico and the Calexico City Management Association for the period of July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2023, to address and ensure compliance with an internal audit finding identified by the CalPERS Office of Audit Services. City Manager, can you just give us a little brief
Yes.
on what we're approving or not?
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the council, in about 2021, as I've been able to determine, that the city had been adding overtime and incentive pay to people's base pay. So for example, if someone earned $1,600 during a 2-week pay period, but they did $300 of overtime, the city was reporting a total of $1,900 of base pay. Now, for at least a decade, PERS has not allowed overtime to be counted as part of the base pay. So it was misreported. And so the employee who pays a percentage of their pay for the employee match of the pension, and then the city, who typically pays about 2 or 3 times what the employee does towards the pension, both were overpaying. And PERS notified us that they had identified 72 pay where they thought there were errors, which caused me a great deal of concern, because 180 employees times 72 pay periods, those were a huge number of timesheets that had to be reviewed. And the problem really got down to the city had been notified since 2021, and had not responded. So they notified the mayor because there was no other response coming from the city. And I don't know about what she said to Juan, but it was pretty clear to me that that was going to get number one billing on things that had to be resolved. So I went to my trusted finance director, who's an all-star in the making, and she began to work directly with PERS, and she got it down to 4 employees at the city, and help me, but 3 are no longer with us. They either retired, feel free.
Yes, there's 1 active employee that we need to make payroll adjustments to, and then there's 3 retired employees that we have to make adjustments through, not payroll anymore because they're no longer in payroll, but through the CalPERS
Right.
Website.
So there are 3 that are no longer with us, 2 retired, and PRS and us are going to have to work with that individual retiree because they may have contributed too much and they may be getting paid too much. But we will get to the heart of that matter with PERS, and Carla is the perfect person to do it. There's 1 who left the city to take a job somewhere else. We are going to have to work with PERS to make that adjustment too. The 1 person that still works for the city, that is that 4th person, we're going to have to work with them and make adjustments as well, but we need the cooperation of the bargaining unit of which that person belongs to make those adjustments. And that's what the requested action of the council is, for us to, because we've negotiated that amendment with the bargaining unit, and we need the council's sign off on the agreement, the memorandum of understanding, so we can get these 4, really it's the 1 that we want to make sure gets done right. But the city overcharged, the city over-contributed, the city required the employee to over-contribute. They may be getting too much, and I can't tell you sitting here whether it is $8.05 or $85, but we don't believe these are significant amounts of money. But the error in not responding is unforgivable. And the mayor brought that to my attention, and it quickly became our number 1 issue. So somebody said it right. It's not a problem that I created or that your 5 sitting councilors created, but we're going to clean it up. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, Councilmember Marquez, do you have any comment? Councilmember Calderon?
Mr. Daniels, thank you.
No.
And that's all. I motion to approve.
Okay. Second?
I second.
Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Madam Mayor Diana Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi is recused himself. Councilmember Tylinda is not present. Councilmember Adriana Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Lorenzo Calderon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. We will now go to discussion and potential action items. Item number 12. So item number 12 is the appointment by mayor and council members to the following commission boards /boards/committees. The Community Services Commission, the Police Advisory, Traffic and Code Enforcement Commission, the Business Improvement District, the Economic Development /Financial Advisory Commission, the Library Board of Trustees, the Community Facilities District Commission, the Personnel Commission, and the Sales Tax Citizen Advisory Committee, which is Measure H. I believe there's a comment on these.
Yes, Madam Mayor, on the first item, I sent you a note this afternoon, but let me read it. The Community Service Commission has a unique wrinkle, and that is it has 7 members as opposed to all the others have 5. The practice is that you each appoint a person to every one of these commissions. But when there are 7, then you would have to come to consensus because individually you aren't going to appoint. You're going to have to come to consensus. But concurrently, there's a line of thinking that we need to strengthen the relationships with the school board to where we can get better shared use of green space in this community, where baseball, soccer fields can be used by Little League or other athletic leagues because we're serving the same people. The school district and us, we're both saving the same people, so we ought to seek joint use agreements that allows use when they're not using for school purposes can be used for city sports or other recreation uses. So what I'm suggesting is that you go ahead and make each of your individual appointments to the commission, that we contact the school district, and in a sign of good faith to be able to work together over the long term, we would ask the chairman of their board or the superintendent to nominate 2 people from the school district, whether they are parents, whether they are staff or whatever, to bring to the table their perspective, but specifically with the purpose of trying to get joint use of facilities. The taxpayers in this room are many of the taxpayers of the school district, and we ought to be able to get them the biggest bang for their buck and with joint use agreements. So I would encourage you to go ahead and appoint the commission with the 4 votes that are here, and then we will bring back to the next meeting an opportunity for Councilmember Talenda to make her appointment, but for you to consider the nominations from the school district on who ought to be on there. Now, we're asking the school district to nominate. At the end of the day, these are your appointments, and you're responsible. So it would be, the action requested would be for you to appoint the 2 that the school district nominated or others, but with an intent of creating that mesh with the school district. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, so what I understand, and because I sat in a meeting with when we met with the school district, the Community Services Commission is not just a commission about parks. It's a commission that also has to do with community activities, with the arts, with the parades, with everything that our community wants to bring back for our city. And what we had discussed in those meetings is that the school district, kind of like the city manager mentioned, they have a lot of resources that can assist us in making better events and in having more green spaces for our soccer players and our baseball players and our basketball players and all our young athletes here in our city. So the recommendation, from what I understand, is that currently the Community Services Commission has 7 members, 5 of which are appointed directly individually by each council member. The other 2 are at large, which means that they get nominated and we vote for the nominees, and whoever gets a majority vote, then they're the ones that are selected. So the recommendation that the city manager is making is that the 2 at large would be the 2 recommendations from the school district, and that is how they would be contributing to this commission. So, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So with that, Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi, do you have a comment?
Yes, just to, regarding to the selection of the commissioners, like Mr. Daniel said, these are the individuals who we also believe are going to be well fitted with the, as commissioners to the ones we're about to select. And doing the interview with these commissioners, we learned a lot from them. And one of the things that we asked these commissioners is that you are going to also be working, there's a possibility that you'll be working with other commissioners. If they have an event at the downtown area with bid, they might need someone from the library commission to go out there and do what they got to do over there if it serves the kids or the youth. So we were selecting commissioners that can work together as a team. So I'm going to go, do I start with my...
No, first we're doing council member comments, and then we'll do our nomination. Councilmember Marquez, you have any comment, especially on the Community Services Commission and the involvement of the school board? Okay, Councilmember Calderon? Okay. So, yes, let's start with the Community Services Commission. Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi, do you have an appointment?
Yes, I'd like to appoint Jesus E. Solano for the Community Service Commission.
Okay, do you have an appointment for Police Advisory, Traffic, and Code Enforcement Commission?
Yes,
It'll take longer, no? Okay. Police Advisory, Traffic, and Code Enforcement Commission?
yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to appoint Angela F. Moreno for that commission, Police Advisory, Traffic, and Code Enforcement Commission.
Okay, do you have an appointment for Business Improvement District?
No, Madam Mayor, I'm still it's an interview process.
Okay, do you have an appointment for Library Board of Trustees?
Not at this point.
Economic Development / Financial Advisory Commission?
Yes, I'd like to appoint Mario Sotomayor for the Economic Development Financial Advisory Commission.
Okay, Community Facilities District, are we going to appoint those now or wait until there's a change to the name?
Yeah, I would ask, we'll bring it back
That
to
we
you
wait,
at your
okay.
next meeting.
So we won't be appointing nobody to the CFD Commission at this time. How about the Personnel Commission?
No, Madam Mayor, I don't have anyone to appoint for that one.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Adriana Marquez, do you have an appointment for the Community Services Commission?
I would like to appoint Patricia Ureña.
Okay, Police Advisory, Traffic, and Code Enforcement Commission?
I would like to appoint Chris Lopez.
Okay, Business Improvement District?
I don't have an appointee at this point.
Okay, Library Board of Trustees?
No.
Economic Development / Financial Advisory Commission?
I will hold at this time.
How about Personnel Commission?
I would like to appoint Berta Carreño.
Berta Carreño, okay. Thank you. Councilmember Calderon, do you have an appointment for the Community Services Commission?
Yes, I'd like to appoint Antonio Garcia.
Okay.
For the Police Advisory, Traffic and Code Enforcement, Enrique Alejandro Alvarado. For the Business Improvement District, Blanca E. Morales. For the Library, Karen Yepes. And for the Economic Development, Julio Rocha. And we're gonna pass on the Community Facility District Commission. I had the same lady for personnel, so I'll have to look for someone.
No appointment. Okay, thank you. Okay, for the Community Services Commission, I'm going to appoint Eugenio Ramos. For the Police Advisory, Traffic, and Code Enforcement Commission, I would like to appoint Ethan Marquez. For the Business Improvement District Commission, I would like to appoint Jose Yepes Jr. And everyone else, I'm still, we received new applications, so I would like to interview them.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
You have all the names of all the people that have applied. We will continue to accept applications, and we will keep putting this on an agenda until we get a sufficient number. So if there's anybody out there in the audience, or you know of someone, or somebody who's watching, and you're looking for a way to serve your community, these are great opportunities. So I would encourage you to come in. It's a simple application. We don't want to know too much, but it's a great way to be of service to your community.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're moving on to, so now we go back to public comment.
Next speaker is Alejandra Guerrero, and then Celcin Hernandez.
Hola, buenas noches, miembros del concilio. Me da un poco esperanza escuchar cosas nuevas y algunas cosas que se vayan a cambiar. Bueno, mi nombre es Alejandra Guerrero, vivo en la calle Clinton, 2312. Como vecina y parte del Parque Córdoba, creo que todos queremos un parque bonito. Quiero que sepan que no somos un grupo pequeño, somos una comunidad que quiere lo que nos prometieron el plan original. Hemos pagado más de 20 años por ese impuesto para pagar nuestro parque. Tengo 2 niños con autista. Tal vez sepan que estamos celebrando el Día del Autismo. Para mis niños es afectado que haya demasiadas canchas o demasiada gente. Tal vez se pregunten por qué. Los ruidos, los catalizadores, los carros, las motos, el tráfico, los gritos, los silbidos. Para ellos escuchan más que nosotros. Así que quiero y quisiera que consideraran un parque para todos como lo que nos habían prometido. No solo para un solo deporte. Mis niños quieren jugar tenis y básquetbol. Escuchando otros comentarios de aquí, que sus hijos ya crecieron y ya no estuvieron expuestos a ningún deporte porque sus hijos ya se fueron. No me gustaría que me sucediera lo mismo, que mis hijos cumplieran 20, 25 años y que mis hijos no puedan ver esas canchas en nuestro parque. Tenemos solamente una cancha de básquetbol en Calexico y tenemos canchas de tenis en las escuelas que no se nos prestan. Entonces me pregunta mi hija de 12 años que por qué no puede jugar en una cancha de tenis teniendo el acceso o porque están en nuestra ciudad. Me da tristeza, no puedo contestarle en realidad. No se trata de tumbar, se trata de que respeten el plano que se había prometido. Queremos un cambio, nosotros confiamos en ustedes, en que puedan arreglarlo, que no exista ningún conflicto entre comunidades, ni mucho menos por deporte. ¿Por qué discutir y pelear? Solamente queremos un parque. Otra cosa que me gustaría comentarles, me da gusto y haber visto los botes de basura. El día de hoy se pusieron y me tocó ver cómo los pintaban. También platiqué con algunas personas que son trabajadores de ahí de la comunidad. Esos mismos trabajadores me comentan que ellos no se les paga de la misma manera que en el centro, ni en el Valle Imperial, que son trabajadores que se les paga menos. En realidad, los vi deprisa, los vi un poco molestos, pero ellos estaban haciendo su trabajo. Le comenté a ese trabajador que iba a venir al concilio y que iba a hablar por él. Gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Celcin Hernández. Carmen Estrada. And Leslie Ayala.
Buenas noches, soy Carmen Estrada, pues vengo con la misma causa de parques, ¿verdad? Nosotros ahorita, la verdad, quisiera decirles el número de niños que tenemos, pues tal vez pudiera ser increíble, pero tenemos 65 equipos de Calexico y en total son 135 equipos. Estamos muy orgullosos porque la ciudad del centro nos facilitó los campos para ir a jugar allá, Brole, Bosby y Imperial. Eso para mí me da tranquilidad y paz. Y yo estoy aquí para comentarles a ustedes y recomendarles que se facilitaron unos dineros para 3 campos de soccer de Giver. El Giver Park no se hizo. El Córdoba, 270 y tantos mil dólares, no se hizo. Y en nosotros tampoco. Entonces yo les estoy pidiendo que se lleve a cabo un parque de soccer. No tenemos parque de soccer. Nada más tenemos lo que nosotros estamos rehabilitando, que gracias que el 14 de febrero se nos dio un permiso para que pusiéramos sprinkles, semilla y fertilizarlos y a nivelarlos, y es lo que estamos haciendo, y por eso los campos, aquí el Gutiérrez y el Carmen Estrada se han visto verdes, y claro, con la ayuda del Saldaña, porque él está coordinando con nosotros, y eso nos da una paz y una tranquilidad. Entonces nosotros necesitamos que nos hagan un parque. No tenemos un solo parque. Vamos a otras ciudades y sí tenemos campos. Yo ya voy a cumplir 67 años. Yo tengo que estar tranquila, pasiva, porque ya los años van para abajo. No es que haya perdido la fuerza, sino que la experiencia me lleva a hablar de la manera que estoy hablando. Entonces, les pido por favor que cumplan con lo que se dijo. Necesitamos un campo, señor Calderón, Diana. Vayan a ver, los invito el miércoles que vayan al Parque Gutiérrez, a cada uno de los campos que no son campos. De hecho, aquí la ciudad no les puede invertir a los desagües porque son desagües. Nosotros somos los que estamos poniendo sprinkles, semilla y fertilizante, árboles, todo. Pusimos la luz, pusimos todo lo que es el sistema de riego, todo. Estuvimos trabajando por muchos años, pero como llegó un dinero aquí a la ciudad de COVID, ya no continuamos. Se nos aprobaron los 173 mil dólares que todos los aplaudimos, trajimos los niños aquí. A mí la verdad, en personal, me da vergüenza ya, porque me lo están preguntando y ya no sé qué decirles porque no puedo mentir. Gracias y buenas noches.
Okay, thank you.
Leslie Ayala, Jessica Pérez,
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for allowing me the time to speak. I'd like to take this time to do some corrections of some public comments that have been made. First of all, my program does not have 50 kids. My program has 247 children and growing. And I actually had to turn children away because the parks in Calexico, I cannot accommodate more children. It's already tough enough to direct the program the way I have it now. There is also a mention of how many parks we have, but yet in the same attempt as Ms. Estrada, we have put our own money and resources and efforts into the park that's named after the Ryson family. Don't know if that's a coincidence, but yet it never gets more than a week of use because for some reason the automatic switch that is ready at IID for you guys has still not been put into place. And so you guys still cannot control where that water goes. And it goes directly into that. We just worked on it for 3 days last week. And if you drive by it now, you'll see it completely flooded. So it's sad. Yes, I have it reserved. Yes, I have allocated time in there, but I can't use that park. And if I want to use it, I have to use my own blood, sweat, and tears to do it. But then the doors are always open, and it always gets flooded, and my work goes down the drain. So unlike a park where you can put sprinklers and you can put trees and you can put grass and it can actually survive, I don't have that luxury. So I don't count on those 3 parks, so I would appreciate it if that's not counted as part of what we can use because we cannot use those parks. They are not safe. And the times that we've tried to make them safe, our efforts go down the drain within a matter of days. It's not that we want to represent one sport only. It's that it just seems unfathomable that something that was already had such a large investment put into it would just be demolished. I've said it before, in a city that's crumbling, that still can't pick up the rubble from the earthquake of 2010 and all the repercussions that came after that, yet we're destroying new builds. Has anyone thought of the consequences? Can anyone tell me that there's not any grant money in there that's going to need to be given back? Or that's going to be demanded back? Will there be any consequences for Calexico receiving any future grants because of the actions we're taking against Cordova and what's already been built there? These are all questions that I think are legitimate and that I think as citizens they have a right to know. And we have a right to have it all laid out in front of us. And as I've said before, if it's the correct thing to do, ethically, morally, legally, okay, then we have to shut up. But if it's not, I think that as a city, we should be concerned about taking action before being presented with the evidence. Okay, I know that Mr. Legaspi, I believe when I was outside, I heard on the live that that would be investigated, and I'm very pleased to hear that, because that's all we want. Okay, we just want clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We received public comments via email, which you all have a copy, regarding Cordova Park from the following people: Rosa Cruz, Alejandra Ayala, Ricardo, Ruben Cruz, Julia Benitez, Morris Rison, Guillermo Villaverde, Carolina Virgen, Mónica Valdivia. We also received another one regarding the mayor from Maritza Hurtado. And that is all the public comments.
Okay, at this time, we will go on to informational items. So,
We're taking the mic to you.
That's fine. All right. Thank you, council members. It is beyond frustration to see how neglected our city parks have become, and even worse when community members step up to make a difference, only to be met with unnecessary obstacles. Due to the shortage of baseball fields for the kids to practice, a dedicated coach, sorry if I get a little emotional, and parents volunteered and took it upon themselves to begin restoring Renison Park, or Rison Park. Wednesday morning, tractors were seen on site working and fixing the hard, uneven grounds. By the end of the day, fresh dirt had been delivered, ready to go, and graded over the weekend, which was this last weekend. Then Friday morning, out of nowhere, the field started flooding again. Okay, why? This park hasn't had grass in years. Okay, and I just moved to Calexico 8 years ago. If you guys want to know where I live, it's 1313 D Renison, so it's right down the street from me. So why is this park being watered excessively? I just found out that it's because of the valves, and hopefully that's, gets fixed through IAD and through the city. But it's upsetting that volunteers, time, blood, sweat, kind of just turned into, just a muddy mess over and over again. So I have questions for the city of Calexico, those who are in charge of the parks and rec, okay? First question already got answered. Why was it being flooded? Because of the valves, okay? Why are certain parks being maintained while others are left to rot, okay? This is my second year coaching. Last year we tried to use Rison Park one day, and that's all it took to get the kids off the field because kids kept tripping on rocks. The dirt is basically like walking on pavement. You can't even use that park for any reason. You guys might see people out there, okay, those aren't really kids that are practicing. It's more people, I just want to do it for rec. Okay, people are out there, that's fine. Here's my last comment before I go. Children need more parks to practice and to hold games for both soccer and for baseball. I'm not pro or against any sport. I have nephews that play soccer. My daughter plays softball. My little one will be playing next year. As a tax-paying homeowner, and more importantly, a parent of a Little League player, I'm both sad and angry that our city is turning a blind eye while our parks fall apart. Our kids deserve better. Thank you.
okay, thank you, sir. Do you have any more public comment?
No more.
Okay. Moving on to informational items, item number 13. Informational item, commercial and residential street sweeping schedule and map.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the council, In your packet, in response to a question that was asked at the last meeting, is a map of scheduled street sweeping. The yellow colored main streets are the first and third Tuesday. The green are first and third Tuesday. And the blue areas are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then but those really get to the main streets. The second map that's in your packet is residential areas. So within the yellow highlighted area is the residential neighborhood that streets will be swept on the second and fourth Thursday. The red are the second, fourth Wednesday. The blue are the second, fourth Tuesday. The other blue is first and third Thursday, and the green is first and third Wednesday. So these are, when people call Public Works Department or call City Hall, this is what we refer to. There might be an unusual variation from this, but that's because there might be equipment problem or whatever. But this is the schedule that we do our very best to stick to. And I'd be glad to answer any questions.
I just have a comment. Thank you for bringing it up, because people need to know so they can move their cars or make arrangements so they can sweep the streets. But also, if you can add it up to our website, if it's not there, I would
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you. I forgot to mention this. Will be on the website.
Anybody else have a comment? All right, future agenda items, Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi?
Yes. City Manager Daniels, can we have a follow-up done on the Chamber of Commerce building to see where we're at? I know they started cleaning it a month ago, or a little over a month ago. Also, one of the things that I mentioned earlier, I was going to talk about our downtown patrol that we had conducted. There was a lot of deficiencies that we had seen out there, and one of the things is what Councilmember Calderon had mentioned. These phone companies, these sidewalk sales, and we discovered businesses that are not paying their license. If we can, and I know it's quite a bit, so if we can enforce penalties or what needs to be, or what has to be done in order for them to pay their license, do they need to be shut down or not? Also, these vandalized or abandoned, I know that we have city ordinance regarding to that. If we can enforce what needs to be done in order for us to get a hold of the property owner to get those cleaned. Also, these banners that we saw out there, we need to enforce. I know you're working on enforcement on the city ordinance regarding to these banners to be removed in the downtown area. So let's do that. Let's work on that. Also, we talked about the sidewalk sales of cellular phones being sold. Let's take care of that. And it's funny, while we were there, we had a young lady approach us that wanted to sell us a pie from her parked vehicle. This lady, Lieutenant Cunha, was there in uniform, asking us if we wanted to buy a pie. And we asked her, where's this? We weren't there to enforce or give tickets or anything, but I asked her, where did the pie come from? From the trunk of my car. We told her no thanks, and I believe Lieutenant Cunha explained the ordinance and the laws regarding to conducting business without a license. Also, another thing, Rodriguez and Nosotros Park, that has been mentioned. We need to go forward, and obviously we're trying our best. We're working on fixing them. Let's see if we can set up a meeting with some stakeholders to see when this can be completed. Another thing, Chief Orozco didn't mention, but he started the Neighborhood Watch program.
Yes, we've made contact with the stakeholder that started the last Neighborhood Watch, so we're in the process of getting the information to get that started. along with, also something I didn't mention was, today we just finished at about 8 o'clock, the cafecito with the SRO, Coffee with a Cop, at the school district too.
Awesome. You know, also there's other events that are coming up from the both the police and the fire department regarding to coffee with our first responders for the public safety, and that's all I have to report at this time.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to make sure that I thank Ms. Gerardo and Mr. Jimmy Duron for allowing us to have this wonderful event. I think all the citizens were really happy, so thank you for partaking in the madness of that. And also, thank you, Ms. Falomir. I know I've been told that the rest of the trash cans are going to be removed, but the downtown really looks amazing now. I mean, not yet where we need it to be, but 100% better than what it used to be before. I just have two
Bless you.
issues that I would like to follow up on. One would be the city website, because I know that a lot of information could be uploaded. For instance, the maps of when the sweepers are going to be going through, so that our citizens know when to move their vehicles. And also a lot of information like when City Hall is going to be closed. I know that we had a holiday on Monday and people were not aware of that. I was not aware of it. And with that, the closure of City Hall every other Friday, I believe, I think that is a disservice to a lot of our community members. Maybe we can find a way to make sure that we stay open every Friday, work a way where maybe we can alternate our crews to be off another day during the week. I think it would be something that serves our community best. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you. Councilmember Calderon?
Well, what I have is I'd like to see a presentation from Mrs. Sander Myers on the overall city budget, actually focusing on the city's fiscal stability for the next 3 to 4 years. I've asked that since I've been here, and hopefully one of these days we can hear from the lady that actually does our numbers. So if that can be done, I would appreciate it. Also, last month, I asked for a presentation for water and wastewater departments, and this was scheduled for the 7th of May, and hopefully we could present this presentation because we do have serious issues in these two departments, and I want to be candid and transparent with our community so we know where we're at in these departments. Also, Ms. Leticia Plancarte from the Imperial Valley Behavioral Health would like to give this council a presentation on the services they provide to the homeless population in Calexico. She told me that she could come on May 7th. So Ronnie, if you can call her, and I think it would be beneficial to us to make sure that we are all aware of what these departments are offering to our homeless population in downtown. And the last thing, and this is something that I'm just bringing it up because I have to do some research on it, but with the walk that Mr. Legaspi and I took of downtown, most of the problems of the smell is because we don't have any restrooms in our downtown. So I spoke to Mr. Legaspi, and hopefully we can get some porta potties until we are able to get some restrooms. This new transit project is going to bring restrooms to the downtown, but meanwhile, if we want to control the smell and people going and doing their thing in the alleys, I think we should provide a couple of porta potties so they can go. And I'll develop a plan and get with Mr. Daniels and see, well, first of all, the cost, if we can even afford the porta potties. But I think it would be a good idea to have that option instead of our alleys. And that's all I have.
To piggyback on what Councilmember Calderon just mentioned about the porta potties, if you're going to develop like a cost, I would rather we can figure out what the options are, but maybe fixing the restrooms of the border park instead of having to lease porta potties. Maybe we can see a comparison of the costs. That way, our spending is more permanent rather than temporary. That's just a suggestion, not saying that what his idea is, you know, that it's just another option. I would stress very, very much on what Councilmember Marquez said about opening on Fridays. Ever since I took office, to come here and see how many people come on Friday to do city business, and City Hall is closed. I've been here, and in a matter of 10 minutes, I kid you not, I see at least 6-7 people come through at any given time. Mondays through Fridays are business days, and we need to figure out a way to open Monday through Friday. And I understand we have responsibilities with our employees, but there has to be a way where even if we run on a skeleton crew, but that's better than nothing, especially because our city has more holidays than other cities. And I'm just gonna say, for example, on Monday, the Cesar Chavez, I had some scheduled meetings here with some citizens only to come and find out that City Hall was closed, which I didn't know of because it wasn't posted anywhere. Not only that, but I went to conduct business in the city of El Centro and they were open. And so I had no idea that City Hall in Calexico was closed. So it's fine if we have an agreement in place where our city observes more holidays than other cities. It just gives it more reasoning to have to look for a way to open on Fridays. It's just, you know, we are here to serve the people, and we need to figure it out some way or another. It just needs to get done. I'm sorry, but I've been stressing that for so long, and so please work on that. Also, I think that the month of April is usually when we have our State of the City. So we need to start looking at a date, a location, so we can start doing our State of the City. And if it's too busy, I don't mind, we can move it to another month. But let's just look at and set a date for that. And then I know Councilmember Calderon had brought up also a month or two ago that he had looked into an app that other cities have to report problems or report so that the citizens can report directly issues. If we can, I don't know if we're looking into it, but if we can continue to look into it, so where they can possibly report graffiti and they can report trash on public ways, public on the streets, on the sidewalks, so that that app goes direct, creates a ticket number, it goes directly to Public Works, and I think that would help a lot, help our city a lot. And it also, we can get, maybe by next meeting, if we can have a date, maybe if you can, on the installation of the valves. I know the IID is going to be donating the valves for the Rising basin, retention basin, but just kind of to follow up and see if they have a time frame so we can let our citizens know that we're working on that park. I know it's not a park, it's a retention basin, but they use them, and it's very well equipped with fencing and lighting, and so we want to take advantage of that equipment. And that is all I have. So, go ahead.
I do have one more comment, and thank you, Mayor. We're actually digging today at Rising Park, so they're actually planning what procedure or what they have to do to install that valve. But what I want to mention here is that I want to thank Ms. Karen Eugenio, for actually getting that valve for us. She's going beyond to make sure that our kids have a place to play. And I think I just want to thank her for the hard work, and actually it's going to be free for us. All we have to do is install it and make sure we control the water in those water basins. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, may
Yes, sir.
I? and I get to do this because I'm the new guy. But my wife Joyce has been with me for the last 2 weeks here, and I just want to, thank her for allowing me
We thank you too, Mrs.
to be here.
Joyce.
So, thank you.
Daniels, for lending them out to us. It's out of the protocol, but I'll allow you to, Mr. Solano would like to make a quick comment.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Yes, I was out there for quite a while as a public works staff out there. They did an awesome job. They had some trouble digging out there because they hit the water base real quick. They had a water pump pumping the water out, but they did find the concrete pipe, but the only problem is right underneath the cables, so they cannot install the valve there. What they told me, they're gonna have to wait until the water recedes from the drainage from the farms, okay, to where they're going to try and open an opening around the manhole that is on the right side, maybe from where they were digging, maybe, maybe 20, 30 feet. But it's doable, but they're going to wait until the water recedes, but they are working on it. They're doing an awesome job, okay? They work hard today, so a great shout out to Public Works today.
Thank you for that information. Okay, nobody else?
There's a grand opening tomorrow. Just to inform everyone, there is a grand ribbon cutting at the McKinley Vento Academic and Wellness Center, located at 641 Rockwood Avenue. Oh, 3 and 4. Everyone's invited. Okay.
Okay, with nothing else? No more business to attend to? Motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
Okay. Meeting adjourned at 9:04. Oh, I'm sorry, roll call. Do we have, yeah, we do. Do we have to?
Mayor Diana Noricumbo?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Victor Legaspi? Lisa Thailand is absent. Councilmember Diana Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Lorenzo Calderon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Meeting adjourned at 9:04 p.m. Record.